All right, well, it's time for another video, and we have had Edna covered for the winter, and we finally got a nice sunny warm day, and so we thought it would be a good time to take the cover off and check the oil and fluids and see if it will start and all of those things. We've been in a few times over the winter just to check things out and replace the desiccant that we had in there to absorb moisture and reset mouse traps and things like that. We've had a little bit of moisture in there, a few mice, but overall, when we've gone in to check on things, it looks pretty good. But you never really know until you take the cover totally off and actually see how things look. So that's the plan for today. All right, so we got the cover off and things look pretty good. The cover protected things pretty well, it looks like. And so now I'm checking fluids before I do any engine start or anything. So checked the oil level right here on ours, and the oil level looks good, right in between the high and the low. So we'll start it up, run it for a little while, and maybe top it off if we need to. But I plan to do an oil change here in the next week or two. So I'm not too worried about that as long as it's at an okay level. Check the air filter. I found that this breather tube has broken. Rubber got old and broke, so need to do something about it. All right, so check things under the hood here. I checked the brake fluid and it looked good. It was full. Again, just taking a look at the hoses and wires and things, make sure that it doesn't look like we have any mouse damage or anything. Washer fluid is topped off, not too big of a deal. This is the coolant reservoir and it's at the full level. I checked the coolant in the radiator too, because I didn't want, maybe it had leaked out or something and just had coolant in the reservoir, but radiator is full also. Checked a few other things, generally looks pretty good. I've had it plugged in, so the battery should be charged up, so shouldn't have any problems there. So I think that is it for under the hood. All right, well, we will see if she starts after being parked for about 5 months. Yeah, I'm just gonna pump the gas once and kind of crank it and see what happens. Okay, I'm kind of shocked that it started that well. No editing or anything, basically just started up on the first try. And the engine sounds pretty good. Oil pressure is in the middle here, so that looks good. Yeah, oil pressure is good. We had the fuel was full when we parked it. The engine actually sounds pretty good overall. I think I'm going to walk around and just check to see what the exhaust smoke looks like, if there's any black smoke or blue smoke or anything coming out the back. I don't see any big cloud or anything. But yeah, pretty good startup. Okay, well, the engine is warmed up and I kicked it down off fast idle. It's idling nicely. I checked the transmission fluid, so dipstick right down there, kind of by the oil fill, or the oil dipstick on ours. It's reading a little bit low, but I think that's okay because it seems like when I fill it all the way up to the warm full point, we get more leaking, and so I'm going to leave it a little bit low. It says basically add a pint, but I'm going to see how it drives, see how it shifts, see if it's okay running a little bit lower than that, because it feels like it's over full when I have it fuller than that. But I think for now it's okay. I went around and checked all of the tire pressure. Tires stayed right at 70, which is what I run them at, and so that's good. I'm going to just level the airbags and things, and we'll take it for a drive and see how she does. Taking Edna out for the first drive of the year. So we'll see how far we make it, if we make it back home or not. But I'm just gonna go around town a little bit and maybe take her out on the highway for a short drive. It is a beautiful day today. So if we do get stranded, it's not the end of the world. Shifting good. Yeah, I think we need to hit a little highway time. Mirrors are very messed up. Need to probably tighten the mirrors. See if we can get up to 55 or 60 here and see how it feels. Taking her out for a few miles, probably 5 miles altogether, and she's running good. Temperature is not running too hot at all. Temperature is doing really well. Oil pressure is staying pretty close to the middle when we're kind of cruising along here, so that looks good. I'm going to check a few more things when we get back home. I'm just going to check for any leaks that might be happening. I want to check the generator, make sure it starts up and does okay. There are a few other things like filling up the water tank and checking that, turning on the air conditioner, checking that, checking the refrigerator, make sure it gets cold. Those are going to be things I'll probably save for when we go camping for the first time, or if I'm doing other maintenance on those things. Really for today, I just wanted to make sure that she started and drove and ran, and that there wasn't any kind of major engine drivability problems after being parked for the winter. So I think really last thing's going to be check out the generator, and then we'll say that she's about ready to get ready for a camping trip. All right, we had a great test drive and she really did excellent. And so I want to just check the Onan real quick, make sure it starts up and runs. We'll turn on the air conditioning too, just to make sure that it's actually generating power and things. But then I'll feel like really the mechanical things are in good shape if this all works. So I'm going to pull it out and take a look at things. Definitely want to check the oil before I go into too much. So I'll pull that out, just check, see how things look, make sure I don't see any fuel lines broken or anything that looks like bad leaks. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. Don't see any bad mouse problems or anything. So let's see what the oil looks like. Definitely want to make sure the oil is full before I do anything with this. Yep, oil looks good right at the full mark, so that's a good sign, and nice and clean. I was thinking about doing an oil change on this again, but we only have probably 3 hours on it since the last oil change, so maybe I'll skip this year. But I don't have any priming or anything on this, so I think typically the fuel does evaporate, and so it'll probably need to crank a little while, but let's see what happens here. Okay, didn't start that time. We'll keep trying. Okay, so the generator light's on. It looks like that switch is probably working. Let's turn on the AC, see if anything happens. Nothing happening on the AC. All right, well, the generator started up nice and ran nice, and I was able to start and stop it from the remote switch in here, which is a project we did last year, so I'm glad that's still working. But when I tried to test it out with the air conditioning and run the AC on the generator, I'm not getting anything. And so I checked an outlet to see if I had power at the outlet. I checked the breaker box, and everything's fine well, okay, let me restate that. There's no power at the outlet, but the circuit breakers are all on and seem to be okay. So for some reason, we're not getting power from the generator. So I'm glad I checked it out, because now I know I need to do some troubleshooting and find out why I'm not getting power. So we'll see what I figure out there. But overall, I'm pretty happy that Edna started up and ran good down the road, and the generator started and ran good. So we're in better shape than where we were when we started last year, because we didn't have all of those things running as well as they are. So I think we'll call this a pretty successful start to the camping season. All right, so we thought about it a little bit, and we were thinking, gee, the generator started and ran so nice, why wouldn't it be making electricity? And then we realized that we've had it plugged in, charging the batteries, and we need to plug in the cable from the generator, well, actually the plug is the generator, into the cable for the motorhome before there would be any electricity. And so I bet that if we go in now and start the generator, we'll be able to start the air conditioning. So we're gonna try it again. And now that we've plugged in the plug into the outlet for the generator, we'll see if the AC works. Let it get cold here. All right, I'm starting to feel some cold air come out. All right, so the generator works and it makes electricity now that we've plugged it in. So now I'm really excited about how things have started up this year, and I think Edna is going to have a great year of camping.